People with disabilities want equality through access and participation. However, there are still some people who consider disability as a disease. Whereas disability is not a disease, but individuals who experience physical, intellectual, mental, and/or sensory limitations in the long term, which in interacting with the environment can experience obstacles and difficulties. The definition given by the World Health Organization is as follows. Disability serves as an umbrella term for impairments, activity limitations, or participation restrictions. Disability is an issue that touches many lives in Indonesia. There are at least 22.5 million people with some form of disability. This represents 8.3% of the population, based on the latest census, which almost certainly understates its prevalence. Disability affects not only people with a disability themselves, but also their families. There are several types of disabilities, including physical disabilities, intellectual disabilities, mental disabilities, and sensory disabilities. One of the educational institutions that fully participates in increasing the productivity of persons with disabilities is the School for the Educational Foundation for Children with Disabilities, or SLB YPAC. YPAC fully supports the children so that they can optimize their potential according to their respective conditions with the facilities that support their learning activities. For example, handrails on each side of the building, electric wheelchairs, teaching devices that really help people with disabilities, comfortable rooms, and competent teachers in teaching children with special needs.
Nama saya Abdul Syakur. Saya penyandang disabilitas fisik, saya guru SLB YPAC Surabaya. Alhamdulillah tahun ini saya sudah 20 tahun mengabdi di YPAC. Secara umum tidak ada kendala apa-apa, tidak ada kendala berarti dalam proses saya mengajar untuk anak-anak kami, karena kami sangat memahami betul kondisi mereka, karakteristik mereka, dan apa yang harus kami perbuat untuk meningkatkan kapasitas mereka. Salah satu bukti mereka bisa berprestasi baik di tingkat kota, provinsi maupun nasional. Bahkan ada salah satu murid kami yang sudah punya prestasi juara 2 tingkat Asia Pasifik. Kalau di YPAC sendiri sudah pernah merasakan mendapatkan bantuan berupa kursi roda elektrik dari ITS, yang mana itu sangat bermanfaat bagi anak-anak didik kami di sini karena keterbatasan mobilitas mereka apabila mereka menggunakan kursi roda secara manual. Harapan saya semoga perkembangan teknologi di bidang rehabilitasi seperti ini bisa semakin bermanfaat untuk adik-adik penyandang disabilitas semakin maju, dan harapan ke depan semoga universitas perguruan tinggi, khususnya ITS, bisa menjadi ujung tombak perkembangan teknologi yang ada di Indonesia.
Disabilitas ada di tengah-tengah kita. Mereka juga sama seperti kita. Mereka juga perlu perhatian seperti kita. Berikan mereka kesempatan untuk bersosialisasi, untuk berkomunikasi, tanpa ada diskriminasi. Juga harapan kami untuk pemerintah untuk mempermudah sosialisasi dan komunikasi serta interaksi anak-anak disabilitas atau orang-orang disabilitas, berikan mereka sarana prasarana yang memadai dan mendukung terhadap aksesibilitas mereka.
In Indonesia, there are supporting facilities for people with disabilities. At the university level, they are equipped with sloping stairs, wheelchair services, parking lots, and special toilets for the disabled. With rehabilitation and assistive technology, Persons with disabilities are not dependent on others and do not make physical disabilities a barrier for them to be able to work or be creative.
So this is the part of our national legislation that we have to support every students in the universities, including students with disabilities. And as for the organizations, we also provide them with the scholarship for some of the students with disabilities because many of them are coming from the low-income families, and some of them are also coming from a very distant area in Indonesia. So it is necessary for us to also provide them with scholarship to ensure that they can access education even though they have disabilities. So during the classes, we apply the principles of universal design for learning. So by applying these principles, we make sure that every student can access the learning optimally, and also we avoid the discrimination towards them. And for the example of the implementation of UDL, the first one is we provide them with the multiple ways of representation. So mostly teachers or lecturers are using a lot of media to deliver the teaching. So for example, they may use the slides on the PowerPoint, but at the same time they will use the transcription, and also we provide them with the sign language illustrator or interpreter to ensure that students with deaf or students who are having the hearing impairment could still understand what the lecturers are saying. And we do think that this implementation in our university could be a good example for other universities or other higher education institutions in Indonesia, that it is very possible to provide them with learning as long as all of us want to learn together and also want to explore our understanding about disability.
Learning rehabilitation and assistive technology is one of the curriculums studied in universities, one of which is ITS.
Biomedical Engineering Department ITS has a focus in development of rehabilitation technology. Our approach in rehabilitation technology development are implemented in educational research and development activities. In education, we have courses in device, circuit, and system as foundation for research and development. Other subjects related to the developments include biomedical instrumentation and signal processing, rehabilitation engineering, assistive technology and welfare, and artificial intelligence. With support of educational activities, our research is focused to exploring closed-loop control of restoration of human movement by using functional electrical stimulations and assistive technology for persons with disabilities. From the important conclusions of our research effort, we have developed some rehabilitation and assistive systems, including multi-joint FES gait, bilateral control for FES game of upper limb, subject intention control of electric wheelchair, exoskeleton for upper limb restorations, and braille printer.
In developing learning materials, we also collaborate with other departments, namely the Department of Product Design and Industrial Engineering in the International Competencies in Healthcare Tech program with VIVAS Belgium University. Teaching materials and discussions in lectures are the basis for conducting research in the field of assistive technology and rehabilitation.
So actually, a research area in the rehabilitation actually is something which is we can help others with the limitation and also someone with a disability. So that's why we are very interested to do this kind of the research, especially to help the children with the cerebral palsy. In this game, we are trying to give some of the scenario of mini games, and then the children with the cerebral palsy will have to play the games. Something which is very interesting that we found based on the study is not only increasing their motor performance, but also they can do it or doing some of the tasks more faster and also with the less error. So we believe that pattern or physical activity rehabilitation game can be very useful as the rehabilitation for children with the cerebral palsy.
Institut Teknologi 10 November as a technology-based university participates in developing research and innovation in creating tools that help people with disabilities.
Nama saya Dava, umur saya 15 tahun. Saya ini lahirnya prematur. Saya 7 bulan sebelum lahir. Akibatnya saya mengalami cerebral palsy atau CP. Di sekolah saya susah untuk berpindah tempat, jadi saya membutuhkan kursi roda. Jadi karena saya ada kursi roda, makanya saya bisa berpindah tempat dengan secara mandiri. Cuman kalau sekarang ada kursi roda elektrik, jadi saya menggunakan kursi roda elektrik karena lebih mudah menggunakan joystick, jadi tidak perlu mengayuh kursi rodanya dengan tangan. Harapan ke depan, saya ingin kursi roda ini bisa dipakai lebih lama, jadi tidak perlu sering-sering ngecas lagi baterainya.
We believe our contribution will improve conditions in society by providing good facilities and removing participation restrictions for persons with disabilities so that they can participate in the roles and activities of daily life.
Pesan untuk kalian teman-teman disabilitas yang ingin meneruskan ke perguruan tinggi, tetap semangat, belajar terus, percayalah bahwa kesempatan jalan untuk kalian itu pasti ada. Saya merupakan penyandang disabilitas yang dulunya juga tidak percaya diri bahwa dapat melanjutkan pendidikan di perguruan tinggi. Tetapi hingga saat ini saya bisa membuktikan pada orang-orang bahwa saya mampu dan saya bisa hingga saya bisa lulus 3 tahun.
Semangat, ayo kuliah, pasti bisa.